What's up, y'all? I'm Teej, and I'm not so collected. I'm more of the crazy and unfiltered one.
And this is another episode of A Crazy Little Thing Called
The podcast that dives headfirst into the craziness of millennial life.
Welcome to the shit show, guys.
Hello, guys. Welcome to A Crazy Little Thing Called, the podcast where we dive headfirst into the beautiful, complicated, and sometimes crazy world that is millennial life. I'm your host, Natalie, and who do I have with me?
It is Teej, and thank you all for coming back to another lovely episode of this show. And before we get started into anything, I want to take a quick moment because we are recording on October 5th, and it is my goddaughter's birthday, and I cannot believe you were 7 years old, and it is crazy.
Jesus.
7 years of Kinsley. So happy birthday. Uncle Teej loves you. I was actually going through my phone because I didn't realize how much gifts and pictures and stuff take up in your messages.
Yeah.
So I was going through and cleaning out stuff, and you can go through each video if you have on your Mac. And I came across the video from 2020 when Chelsea recorded her saying happy birthday to me and her little lift, happy birthday, Uncle Keith. And I was like, oh, my baby. And now she is 7, which is insane. But literally the grownest of them all. Yes, happy birthday, Kinsley. How are you, my friend? This is the first time that we've recorded, and it hasn't been forever since we've seen each other.
Literally. Yeah. I am doing well. I think, I was showing you my new fall bag. Being that obviously fall started in September, but I feel like October really just kind of hits it.
Yeah.
And so
the weather finally drops out of the 90s for the first time.
In the morning it's 60s, but almost immediately it goes back to 70s and 80s. But that's still fine.
We are okay with that. As long as we don't hear any nines besides 79, 69. I am okay with the temperatures. It feels good because there's still a good breeze outside too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love this time of year.
Loving the weather. Loving it. But yeah.
How was your birthday?
Well, my birthday, yes. I'm officially 31. Okay.
Yeah. WON, right?
WON. 31. And I feel okay. Yeah.
This is a slight change from last weekend when you were just like, I just feel so great. I feel great, 31. And now you're just okay. Oh, okay.
Well, no, because I know that high is not going to last all the time. I still do feel great. But I think, Patricia is really patrician. So that's me feeling okay today.
Patricia. I'm not going to say what that is for our listeners. I guess that'll be an inside joke. But if you've watched Steven Universe, there's a gym called Periodot, and it's very close to that. Anywho, yes. So do you want to tell the people what you did for your birthday outside of this lovely dinner in which we brunch that turned into dinner?
Brunch, yeah. That turned into coming to my house and a different type of liquor and sitting.
And I don't know how I drove home after that. I genuinely
I don't know either, because you drove
I was fine.
to Houston. I just would have been sleepy. I was fine for the most part. But no, had lots of fun. I don't know. Did I say last time on here what I was doing?
No, I don't think you did. I don't think so.
Well, so obviously it was the little camping in the woods and whatnot, and I went fishing and went just looking around, exploring, and just chill. And I really just loved chilling. Right. And so that was nice. That was cool. And then obviously on my birthday, went to Cafe Del Rio, and we did the most.
Toe it up. Literally.
Toe it up. Literally. Shout outs to Wendy, because Wendy always takes care of us, but
she does.
Yeah.
She does. I need her to move to Houston. Or take a job in Houston or something, because I would love. I think that's also the thing is since we left the house in Pearland, I guess because also we both left, but we haven't had a regular server. First of all, we barely go eat anymore together, but we're so used to, what was her name?
Kaylee
or India. There was India for a little while too at that Pearland one. Dia. I mean, and we used to have that one, we can count on. We knew they was going to hook up our drink a little extra. And I think that's the
Now
thing
we
I miss
don't.
most, because when I go to Beaumont, obviously there's Wendy, or then when I go with my parents, because they love a good tea of Juanitas or Floyd's, they go to both of them, but they always have a specific server they want, and they take care. And I'm just like, I miss the regularity of going to one place and where
Just
everybody
knowing that
knows
you're going
your
to be taken
name.
care of.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a while, so I need you to hurry up and just drop everything in Beaumont. Just move to Houston, please.
I'm gearing towards it. I actually am, because I said it before, and I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. But this time, I'm like, really serious.
As you should be.
Time. I think it's really time. Found like everything's
exclusive.
lining up.
Well, your chakras and stuff too.
It's
Sage burning over here. Yeah, and it's funny because obviously I'm also in the what do they call that? In the neighborhood? I know. Whatever. I'm also in the phase of apartment hunting. And so I told you that I found the apartment. I showed you at your dinner. Like,
yeah.
I love the apartment, everything like that. But it was because it was available now. It was too soon to sign a lease, because I don't move until like mid-November.
You would have to hold it.
I would have to hold it, or I'd have to move in earlier, and then I'd be paying 2 rents. And I'm like, I ain't got it like that. And so I was like, I'm going to wait. And I was supposed to next week, which if you're listening to this episode on the day it comes out, I was like, by this day, I wanted to have a lease signed. So I just kept checking the unit that I went and toured, that I was in love with. And every day it's been like, okay, it's been there. And the price has been going down because obviously it's available now. And they're like, we're trying to get rid of this.
Right.
And then on that fateful Wednesday, I checked and it was gone. But there's still 15 other of that floor plan available. But because they're like on higher floors, obviously it's like $100, $200 more expensive. And so I'm like, so now I've started to think like, okay, do I need to come with a backup and see what apartment hunting is just not. It's fun to go see stuff, but then it's like when it's time to make the decision, and I'm just like,
yeah. No, I'm with you. And that's what I like. Is literally 2. Like, and there's just really one, but like 2. Because I'm like, I'm not looking anymore. I looked in, around different things, but I'm like, this is exactly in the location that I want it. They're the 2 that I'm wanting are right by one another. So I'm like one or the other. And they have multiple like openings. And actually the one that I want has an option to get your place furnished. And I was like, wow, I'm not doing that because I got stuff. But it's just like, that's nice.
Ooh, I hope you hire movers.
Absolutely. TJ.
That was a different movie. Okay, never mind.
More than anyone can when it comes to like me. We have been through the ringer. We're not doing it no more. We're not doing it no more.
I've outside of when we moved from your apartment to the house when I stayed with you for those couple months, I never hired movers to move. Even when I moved from San Antonio to Houston, I did all of that myself. I just got a U-Haul, and I think Drew might have helped with like my couch. Because at the time I didn't have a lot of stuff. But I don't think I will ever go back to doing that. Especially after helping you recently. It's not even worth it to me. So I'm just like, yeah, we'll get them movers. And that's why I'm like, I need to start solidifying stuff because we're pretty much a month out and I don't have a lease signed. I haven't scheduled movers. I've already taken my vacation time for it. So that's, I did plan ahead for that. But
Good.
Yeah, I just need to, But hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. Next week, I will have something signed so we can start getting that process moving. Because I looked at 6 apartments and there was 2 that I really loved. Obviously, the one that was the high rise was a 1-bedroom. And then there was another one still in the same general area, but it was a 2-bedroom and it was a mid-rise. And so between those 2, I really like the high rise because, like I said, I wanted to live in the city. I wanted to have the vibes, the very Sex and the City life. So yeah, I don't know. Are you looking at 1-bedrooms or 2-bedrooms? I can't remember what you sent me.
I'm looking at 2 bedrooms because I was first stuck on like I want like the townhome feel, and I could do 1 bedroom, like if that. But honestly, I'd rather just 2 and just be on the first floor. Like I need to be first floor.
See, that's my thing. This is my first time ever being on the first floor, and I do not like it. I mean, I've been on other floors where, you know, there's been people above me because I think I've lived on the second and third floor before. I've never lived above 3. But first of all, the people stepping is annoying.
Yeah.
I also like to be outside, and I think that's something that I realized when we lived in the house. Like, I used to love just going to our patio and chilling and listening to music. It's weird when you're, like, literally staring at the parking lot.
Yeah.
When you're outside. I'm like, no.
Yeah. The way that you're set up.
Did you ever use your patio, like, when you were out in Webster? Like, when we lived that 2 bed? Did you ever actually go sit out there?
Yeah, but I feel like my setup was a little bit different. Like, there wasn't a lot of people out there, and like I'm right by the gate, and so everybody just kind of goes in and goes further, and so like it wasn't weird for me to sit out there. But had I had the unit behind me, it would have been facing the back, would have been a little bit better. Yeah. But no. And I'm excited too to have a pool, because I don't think I really ever utilized the amenities to the extent like when I was in apartments. Right. I'm definitely doing it now.
So that was one of the big things that sold me too on that high rise was the pool.
Really?
Because the pool is like on the 8th floor, so it overlooks everything, and it's not just the pool; it's like a pool deck, right? So like you look out over the city, and like there was a garden where you can like there's like people plant their herbs and stuff, and it's a community. There was a yoga section on the lawn by the pool. There were like 4 or 5 grills and cabanas and TVs, a hot tub. And I had never literally used any of my amenities at any apartment that I've ever been to. I think maybe once in San Antonio at the last apartment, maybe Ariel and them came over and was like, we're going to come to your pool. And I was like, okay, one time. But this year, whenever DeAndrea for, what holiday? I think it was Memorial Day. I'm pretty sure it was Memorial Day. That's the one in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a barbecue at her pool, and we went over, and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. And then my other homegirl from work, Morgan, not the other Morgan, she did something before she moved out of her pool, and we all came over, and I'm like, this is actually fun. Like, why do I never do things like this? And so like, I had to start utilizing because you pay for it.
Exactly. You pay for it. We used to go to Kiera's place for Memorial Day too, and we would just go swimming. But yeah, but now she's in the house. Wesley's in the house. I don't know where Johnny moved. Yeah. So I'm like, no. I want to just wake up on Saturday morning after the farmer's market and just go swim if I wanted to.
Maybe not in the winter, but yes, agreed. Yeah. Or just like to sit out. That was my thing too. Is like there were so many spaces in the place that I looked at that I was like, I could see myself utilizing this. And one of the big things that I always said I wanted a 2-bedroom because I wanted an office, which luckily my 1-bedroom now had this sunroom, so I use it as an office. But obviously, when you're in the city, it's a little more expensive. So if you try to get a 2-bedroom, it's even more expensive. Yeah. But when they were showing me the amenities, there's like private offices. They're first come, first serve. But they were like, we've seen people bring down their monitors and just work here all day, blah, 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 stuff like that.
That's cool.
There was a golf simulator room in there. And then like in the golf simulator room, there were like, think of it like, have you ever seen Davenport's? Not the show, the place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know how like, excuse me, across from the bar, there's like that little loungy area where it's like, they had that in there, but it was like 4 chairs around a table, but they were very comfy, almost like a cigar lounge kind of feel. And I'm like, this will be perfect. Like, if they wanted to record the podcast in person, like this, I'm like, everything is so perfect.
You can feel it.
I can. And again, I don't know if we talked about this last time. It's like, it was just the price. And I can still afford it, but the thing that keeps coming to mind is just because you can't afford it, should you?
Yeah.
So I'm like, because, I like to take my random trips. I like to go to concerts and stuff like that. And I'm like, that would impede on my freedom to do that. So I'm just back in the thinking phase, but hopefully I can make a decision soon because it is
approaching rather quickly.
Which, speaking of concerts, those are also approaching quickly.
I
have 3. I know you have 1.
Yeah.
With me, obviously.
I need to write that on here because isn't it the 19th?
Yes, and that's actually the day this lease is up. So I'll be in my new place. So if you want to stay the night.
Oh, really?
So I'm just like, But next weekend I have Kate Trinata, which I'm super excited about because I've never been to a concert for a DJ set.
That's cool.
So I'm sure he'll bring out people maybe. But then that following week, me and Paris are going to see Maxwell Jasmine Sullivan, which so excited. And then obviously we have Mariah in November. And then Kaylani is here on Tuesday that's coming up. And I'm like, I kind of want to go, but I'm like, I need to stop spending money. And then Tinashe is actually coming the week after Maxwell. And I've never seen her and I've always wanted to. And so I'm
her
like, I think
newest song,
No Broke
this
Boys.
girl's name starts with a K. She made like a little dance, and that's literally been in my head, like the No Broke Boys. No.
Yeah, no. Okay, I figured that because obviously I haven't been on social since that album came out. I don't remember when it came out, but so I haven't seen what's going viral. But when I heard that album, I was like, that's going to be one of the summer,
like,
even though it's like not summer anymore. But I was like, yeah, it's very catchy.
Yeah.
But no, so maybe I'll go to concert by myself. I've been saying that I wanted to attempt to do that, so maybe these will be the two because they're less than $100 each to go. But I'm also like, I'm supposed to be saving because I have all this
right
and moving, so I'm like, but I'm also like, live.
Go ahead. That's
So,
why I feel like it's different this go around too. Just with like me moving, is that like I actually am saving, and I got a good chunk saved prior. So I'm like, okay, so it's just gonna be like normal. It's not really gonna put me in the hole. And I keep weighing the pros and cons because I can't make a decision on anything. That's a flaw. But
I'm like that when it comes to like long-term decisions.
Well, this kind of to me is long-term because it's like at least a
agreed.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, it's necessary now. I think because like physically I can feel myself like I need a change. Like I need a refresh.
That was me too. Actually, like towards the beginning of this year, I think when I finally decided that I was going to move, like I just felt like I wasn't growing out here. That sounds bad. Like I'm not growing out in Katy. But I just like I wanted something. Yeah, true. It's like I just wanted something. I needed something like that would force me to change it. I feel like that. Like, because like you'd asked me last weekend for your birthday. I won't say what you asked me that question, but getting out of my comfort zone has been something I've been trying to do, and I feel like living out of the city has always been like my comfort thing. It's like I don't want to see people. I don't have to, and so I'm like, okay, look, let's just try it for a year before I quote unquote buy a house because I keep on saying that I'm going to buy a house next year, but I don't even know if I want to stay in Houston. So I'm like, why would I buy a house? But then people are like, you can always just, rent the house if you do decide to move and that's income. And I'm like, true. So I don't know. It just seems like it's time. All the stars are aligning. So
the stars are aligning.
So fun. I do have notes because I was like, I want to make sure that I bring these things up. I want to talk about love real quick. Why? I don't know. This was actually on my mind. Love. This was actually on my mind after leaving your house, and it's so random. Not necessarily just because of the conversations we were having, but on the way back home, I was listening to Ariana Grande's album. Have you listened to Eternal Sunshine? You need to, and I was gonna tell you to listen to it before this so that we can discuss. Because it's just such a good album, and it's you should totally listen to it. You don't have to listen to the slightly deluxe, which has like some remixes. Just a regular. It's really good. It's only like 30 minutes too, but it's so good. And I don't know where I was.
You were going with that.
Not at all. That is so sad. It's gonna come back, but the next question that popped up: jury duty for you. Oh. You said we would talk about that here. How did that go?
So let me tell you about that. Honestly, so like people just dread jury duty, but honestly, I wasn't dreading it. I was kind of like, okay,
you've never been.
So I went once, but this was way different than like when I went to Houston, because like when I went to Houston, we went to the NRG and it was like 100 of us and it was multiple cases and we were just sitting there. Granted, I had my iPad and my sandwich and whatnot, and like I was chill, but it's literally a chair and I'm sitting there and everybody is just kind of like spread out and you're just waiting. Nobody's talking to you. You're just waiting. And then like, if they didn't call you, you're dismissed. And I was dismissed. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's what I was envisioning this to be like here in Beaumont. But this time was different because they sent me the jury summons, but then they said that I had to register online. So I imagined that was the like piece that I was waiting. And so in Houston. So when I get to the courthouse, it's like 30 of us. And I was like, okay. This is probably not multiple cases.
Different.
It's probably just one case. So then they called us all in, and we were sitting in the little, what are they called? Pews? They're not pews.
I don't know what it's called.
But
it's called the jury box, but I don't know what those actual chairs are called.
But we weren't in the jury box. We were in like where because we haven't been picked. Because
that's the.
It was the like all of us.
Courtroom. I don't know.
But anywho, fast forward to like this was obviously for one case. And they were telling us the case, but not all the details yet. And like we actually had the district attorney, like assistant DAs talk to us. And like she had a whole PowerPoint and everything because the case was this lady, we saw her, an old black lady, was caught with like 1 to 4 grams of cocaine. And so the assistant DA like was giving us the whole like background as to like classification of drugs and whatnot, and they were like asking us questions, and you could see them like trying to look at our facial expressions and whatnot. And then the defendant's attorney like did the same thing, and then they were like, okay, I'm gonna pick 10 and rule out, she's gonna pick 10 and rule out, and then the ones that are left will essentially be like the jury. And so I was like, oh damn, like
this quick.
I'm gonna be big. So we go out and like we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And mind you, I was there at 9, and so I think they had called us back in.
Late, huh?
I know. I thought it was like 8. I think I was there around 8 for Houston.
I remember you leaving earlier.
Yeah,
you were at the house when you got. I do remember that.
So, but then they called us back in, and they were like, so we have some good news and bad news. And we were just all like, what? Basically, while we were gone, the defendant, that's the person guilty, right? Well, not guilty, but took the plea deal. And everybody was like...
So a waste of my day.
Basically. But it was before 12. It was like 11:57 that they left out. So it was quick, but it was still like half the day. But yeah, no.
Because don't you get paid for jury duty, right?
Yeah, but we didn't do it. So I don't think we get paid for anything. So, yeah.
But I thought you only get paid if you get picked for jury duty? You don't get paid for your time at all?
I don't think so, because I haven't received anything. And so
it's weird because I've never I think I might have gotten called for jury duty once when I was in college, because my address was still Beaumont. And so obviously if you're in college or whatever, you can
like you're exempt.
Yeah, or whatever like that. And that was the only time. Like I've never, and I'm almost like, I don't want to say eager, but I want to experience it at least once. Maybe not in Houston, because I have heard horror stories like you said of like you just going in. Because my current manager, back before she was my manager, she went, and then she actually ended up getting selected for a grand jury. So she would have to go there like once a week. I think it was like every Wednesday for like 2 months. And I was like, I don't want to get selected for that. But she was saying because it's a grand jury, like I don't know if it was a class action lawsuit. It was something to where every time was like a different something. And she was like, and they were pretty brutal. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want that. I just want to go in once and be done. And then I'm like, watch what I would get selected.
Too. I just want to experience just if it was an interesting case. And I was kind of interested because, like, obviously it was like drugs. And I was like,
drugs.
Ooh,
this is right up my alley. I love drugs.
I have some knowledge.
Yeah, you've watched enough Snowfall and Power. Are you caught up on Power? I'm not. No. So
no, I know you're not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't seen since season 2.
I think I'm just one episode behind, and honestly, I think this is the last episode.
Yeah, it's the last episode for real.
The series, yeah.
And someone spoiled it for me. Oh, I was listening to a podcast and they spoiled it for me. And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you what, but I'm like,
I'm still switch subject. Nah.
Yeah, no, but I do want to talk about shows before I go back because I'm going to remember what I was going to say about love. Have you watched any of the Menendez brothers thing? I haven't. I'm starting it today.
Was about to come on here and talk about that because that's what I paused in order to hop on here.
How
so
far
I had just started watching it like this week.
Okay.
Because I was watching other things, but I had just started watching it this week, and yeah, it's fairly good. I don't know. It's obviously kind of like the Gypsy Rose like situation. Like,
That's what I've heard. And I don't
they
remember
did
the
something.
case.
Huh?
I know I've said I've never like kept up with their case. I know they killed their parents, but
Right.
I've never like really got invested in their case. But people are saying it's really good. And it's Ryan Murphy, which he
Yeah.
does great. And obviously because he did Dahmer, which I could not finish. I still never finished Dahmer.
Oh, I love that. Well, I knew
Yeah.
about Jeffrey Dahmer prior to watching that,
No.
though, too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're the reason why I know. Because also, remember we went in LA, went to the Museum of Death, and they had the whole. But I couldn't, like, Dahmer was just emotionally too much. Because I think the last episode that I watched it might have been episode 6, which was with the black guy, the black kid that he was like, I don't know if he was in a relationship with him that he killed, or he was dating, whatever. That episode, like, I couldn't watch him.
Yeah, he was more invested in him in that one, you know?
I couldn't, because I was like, oh, this is emotional. You're not just some random person anymore. Like, you actually, and I'm like, don't want to watch that happen. So I never finished it, and I was like, that's probably for the best. But since this is also a part of the Monster series that he does, that I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. Because did you ever watch, like, his American Crime Stories on FX?
Yes, the ones that was, what's it called?
Yeah. Not American Horror Story.
No, but it's like
American Crime Story.
Different.
Yeah, there was OJ, the OJ one, and then the only two that I watched were OJ and then the Gianni Versace. I think there's like 2 other ones. If I'm not, because right now I think it's his one on Aaron Hernandez, the football player that I think that's the 4th one, but I don't remember who the 3rd was. But the OJ one was really good, and the Versace one was really good. So he does well in this kind of crimey area. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch because everybody's been talking about it and how great it is and how the acting is great. And then I also recently saw that like they're reopening that case.
Well, so last night I saw that Kim Kardashian had posted, Baller Alert, I think, had reposted what Kim Kardashian had posted. And I was like, of course, she's going to get her hands in this, which I'm not mad at her because cool. But like, I mean, they've been in prison for a very long time at this point.
They're still in prison?
Mm-hmm. To my knowledge.
I don't know why I thought they got out.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. Again, I don't keep up with the case. Yeah. But because they have a docu-series coming out.
It's coming out, yeah. So
I'm like, I assumed they weren't in prison, but I guess they could interview people from prison.
It's sad though, because there's so many like layers to it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, the crime was brutal.
It was terrible.
But it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's not that it's justified, but it's just kind of like, I understand why.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I do want to, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to start it after this because the only thing I have left today, we're going to go karting today at like.
Oh, that's fine. Where y'all going?
Right, we have K1.
Andretti's? Oh.
No, because Andretti's will be smart because it's right by me, but of course they're going to make me drive. But yeah, K1. And then the other show that I've been hearing about, Grotesquerie. Have you been watching that?
So I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I think the 3rd one is out now, and I haven't watched that one yet. But yesterday, my mom and I were sitting in here, and she was starting it, and so I was kind of watching the first episode over with her. So, with that, my thoughts without like giving it away or anything, because it's by the people who made it.
It's Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy,
yeah. It's Ryan Murphy.
So,
He making his money.
I'm like, I know what I'm walking into just with kind of like
gore.
Horror and just kind of the psychological weird gross aspect of it. But I will say it's gross. Like this show is gross, but a grotesquerie. Like
right. And it's funny because I don't remember the "re" being at the end. I thought the name of the show was just Grotesque. And so I knew what to expect. But then when people started saying Grotesque, I was like, oh, there's more letters after that.
It's interesting. But Niecy Nash is good. I will say, like, she's good.
She was good in Dahmer.
Huh?
She was good in Dahmer as the neighbor. So like she plays that role. I guess, once you have a relationship with the director that gets you, stay with it. And like obviously the earlier seasons of American Horror Story, top tier. I haven't watched American Horror Story probably since maybe the 10th season.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in
Or
a
no,
while.
the apocalypse season, whenever they brought back the witches. And so I haven't experienced Ryan Murphy in a while outside of, he had a show called Hollywood that was really good on Netflix. And what was that? I don't
Did
think
I
I ever
watch
watched
that?
Ratchet or Nurse Ratchet, Ratcheted, whatever, whatever. I didn't watch that. I remember you
I
did when we
watched
were in the
that.
house. But then outside of that, the last thing of Ryan Murphy that I saw was Dahmer. And I'm like, oh, it's a little heavy for me, Ryan.
Yeah.
Is this the
Yeah.
direction we're going? Because it's like, how do we go from Glee to this? And so I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, I'm interested. I haven't been watching a lot of TV. I don't know
Oh,
what it
no.
is. Like, not even, yeah, no, you and your TV are always there. I've been going to the movies a lot, which I haven't been in a little bit, but last week, the week before your birthday, we actually went to an early screening of Pharrell's movie, the Lego Pharrell biopic called Piece by Piece. It's like his biography, but it's told in Legos. It was really good.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
really, really good. It comes out on the 11th, so Friday that's coming. But Cassidy said her friend always gets like the notifications to sign up for early screenings, and so we were sitting together, and she was like, "Here, do you want to go?" And so I signed up, and it was like 4 of us went. Granted, we got there relatively what we thought was early, but apparently late, so we were like literally sitting in the first 2 rows. So I was like, looking like this, but it was great, and I'm totally gonna go pay to see it from farther back. So movies have been my thing. I'm going to see Joker soon, but I said I need to get into TV because there's so many shows that people keep talking about that I have not seen.
Yeah.
What
There's
have
a
you been
movie on
watching outside of
Netflix
obviously
that
those?
just came out, and it's like What's Inside or Us or something like that, but I can't remember what it's called. But it just came out on Netflix, I want to say. But it's basically like a group of friends, and like they're switching bodies, but like something happens. So,
Huh?
and our girl is in there, and I can't think of her name.
Our girl. It's called what? What's
What's
inside?
What's Inside or like something like that.
It's a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie, I want to say.
Okay, it's a movie? Sci-fi
It's on Netflix.
horror. Uh huh. Who's our girl?
I don't know. It might be my girl
I'm really trying to.
because
I
you know
was like, I don't know these white people.
nobody.
Not that
Is there not a
I'm
black girl on there?
recognizing. Hold on, let me keep looking. No, it don't look like
I
no
could be
black
wrong.
people.
I'm
So
wrong.
someone told me, oh, there's a show. Oh shit, it's on Max, and someone said it's Max Popular shows that it's really good, and it's probably like a very accurate depiction of like college.
Oh, it's Brittany O'Grady from Star. You never.
Oh, I was like in the Max show, but you're talking about in this show. You're talking about
Yeah, sorry.
what?
No.
I didn't even see
Brittany
her.
O'Grady. If you go to
Am I looking at
cast,
the right show? What's Inside? Netflix. Literally seen 1 minute ago. It didn't even show her on the cast. Am I blind? Oh, she looked white. Sorry. It was a bad
yeah, she
photo of
does.
her. There's
You
no
know, she's
melanin there.
mixed.
Oh, okay. Little Shelby. What's it? It's What's Inside is what it's called. There we go. No, I haven't even seen. And granted, that's because I haven't been on Netflix. That wouldn't make sense. Because what is that? There's the show The Penguin, which is Batman spinoff, which I've heard is really good. Want to watch that? But then someone literally just told me about this show, and it's gonna bother me because I can't figure it out. And I was gonna tell you about it. The truth, the something. It's true. What's true? What's true? I don't know, but someone said it was actually really good. And I'm going to figure it out. Maybe we should take a break because I'm going to search for this because it's going to bother me. And then I can talk about that damn text message from last night. So we will be right back after a quick break in research. And we are back, and after much research, still haven't found said show. So, sorry guys for that cliffhanger. If I do get it, then maybe I will. See, I'm like looking through me and Bree's messages to see if like we text about it or something, but I don't know. And I was like, why am I so hyper fixated on trying to figure out this show? Forgot to take my meds this morning and drink coffee. So we're in for a wild ride today, ladies and gents. But anyway, no, that's what I've been watching. Did you see? You watched Sex Lives of College Girls, right? Did you watch that show?
Yes. I don't know if I finished it.
Okay, I think
That
the new
was the one
season
with
is
Renee Rapp?
coming.
Yeah,
That
I don't
should be
think I
coming back
finished it.
soon.
I might have. I don't know.
There's only two seasons. I couldn't tell you what happened at the end of the second.
Me
season.
neither. So that's why I'm thinking.
I feel like it's been a long time. Because I know in the first season was when Homegirl got caught cheating and they like revoked her scholarship, right? The white girl, can't think of what her. Oh, okay. I think that's what happened at the end of the first season. She got caught cheating. They revoked her scholarship. So the second season is about her having to get a job to pay for college and that whole thing. Oh, wasn't she cheating on her boyfriend with her like neighbor in the dorm?
I couldn't tell you anything about that show.
Wow, it was really good though. What else did I say? There was one other show that I was like, oh, I know we'll both know about this. Oh, Abbott is coming back. Like literally, I think this week.
I haven't finished watching the previous season. Yeah.
Now this is very much not like you.
I know.
That's been good. I also saw Grey's was coming back. I didn't watch the whole 20th season, so I'm very behind on Grey's. But apparently, well, I didn't know that Meredith wasn't in the last season.
I knew she was going. She was leaving.
I remember she was leaving. I did see that because I think that was like season 19. We'll go with like somewhere in there is when she left. I didn't watch season 20, but then I was reading an article, and apparently, like now Jackson is coming back, and Bailey's husband, which didn't know he left, but I know he was on like Station 19, and I think that just got canceled. But yeah, I was reading an article. Apparently, like a bunch of shit was happening. Like they fired a bunch of people. Catherine fired people at the end of the season. Miranda slapped her. So I'm like, oh, we getting a little rowdy.
Grey's is giving very much Days of Our Lives, telenovela.
Keep on going.
All My Children. Like
it won't stop. And I miss the heyday of Grey's. And granted, I didn't start watching, I kid you not, until like season 15. And then I like went and watched all of them on Netflix. So I didn't get to experience it with everybody else. But apparently they have a new showrunner that started in season 20. But that was also the writer strike season. So like it was a shorter season. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see what she is going to do now that it's more like a fresh whatever. And apparently they've gotten pushed to the 9 o'clock time slot because Grey's used to come on at like 7. It was like Grey's, Scandal, then How to Get Away with Murder, 7, 8, and 9. And so now Grey's is at 9. So she's like, we can be a little bit more risque because of the time slot. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll dive back in. But I don't need to watch season 20 because Grey's is one of those shows where like, if you miss a season, you really won't know what the hell these characters are doing. I'm sure they're certainly operating on random people, but it's like, you miss a whole plot lines. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But yeah, I did see Grey's and Abbott. And I'm so excited for Abbott because that's just one of those, like, just feel-good shows to me.
Yeah.
Like, you just... Anywho, yes, what else have you been watching before we jump off of TV? Since you're literally the TV person. And it's still bothering me about this show.
Oh, Love is Blind. Well, you don't really watch that, but I haven't started watching it yet, but a new season. So I need to start.
Where are they at this year?
Watching
this season.
Yeah, I think they're in like DC, I want to say. Okay. I'm not sure.
Okay. There's another show that I know you would like, Salem's Lot on Max, which is based off of It. No, I'm lying. There is a show coming to Max called Welcome to Derry, which is where the It universe happens.
Yeah.
But then Salem's Lot is just another Stephen King, I think, book. Maybe that they're turned into a series, but I think it's about vampires.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it just came out, maybe like yesterday or Friday. Yeah, but it's called Salem's Lot. So, it's time for all those scary movies.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of year when it comes to like movies and shows and whatnot, which, I always have to go back and watch a feel-good show. I've been debating, but I think I picked what I'm going to just restart.
And I know what it is.
I don't think you know. I think this might shock you.
If it's not Gilmore Girls.
Nope.
Right? Then is it Army Wives?
Nope.
Pretty Little Liars?
Nope, no. I don't really watch Pretty Little Liars over again.
Never went back either.
It was too much for me.
Honestly.
But it's more so along the lines of supernatural, like vampire-ish, and it's not the ones that you think. So I'm going to pause you right there. It is True Blood. I feel like I need to rewatch that over again.
I'm glad that I got you to watch True Blood.
You know, because it's so corny as it is. It was good. It was really good.
It took some turns.
It did.
Because I don't remember it being corny towards the beginning. Granted, the acting was a little, but I feel like the storylines were good until it started getting like towards the end of it, and it was like, okay, we could have wrapped this up a little bit earlier. But did you watch White Lotus?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
2 seasons.
The third season's coming soon.
Oh, good. I would watch that. Yeah, like
and
that.
Natasha Rothwell is coming back for season 3 because she wasn't in season 2; she was in 1. Kelly from Insecure. Sorry.
Oh, that's her name, Natasha.
She has a show on Hulu.
Kelly from Insecure.
No. Kelly Growth. Kelly Penny's Preguntas.
I thought her name was Prentice Penny.
Prentice Penny is the man that ran the show with Issa that used to have the wine down, but Kelly's last name on the show was Penny because that's why her podcast was Penny's Preguntas.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Her name is Natasha Rothwell. And apparently she has a show on Hulu where she's a flight attendant. And it's a comedy.
I've seen that. I haven't watched it.
Bree responded. It's called Tell Me Lies, and it's on Hulu. That one's very off, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You were very off. And when I
knew it was about white people and stuff.
Amazing.
So what is it? Okay, let me go and read it.
Tell Me Lies is basically like it's showcasing like relationships and like toxic, a very toxic one, but how realistic and subtle it can be, but how like ingrained you can be so quickly. Like it's so good. It's really good.
But was I right? No, so it's not about murder. It's relationships. No. But it's white mess, right?
I mean, yes, most of them are white people. There's one black guy.
Oh, okay.
One Hispanic.
So it is good.
No, it's so good.
Okay.
It's currently on now.
The newest season?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So
it's Hulu. You were so off.
Sorry. I said it was an original for one of them things. I just thought it was Max.
It's Tell Me Lies. And actually the main characters, there's a lot of main characters. But the two people who watched the first season, it's the same people in the next season too, but the two main characters of like the ones who like were dating and it's kind of revolved around date in real life.
And is it like Cruel Summer in the way it's shot, like where it does the flashbacks and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, that's what she was talking about. She was like, if you like Cruel Summer, you're probably like this because it's shot in that like goes to the future past.
Yeah, it goes back and forth and back and forth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she said
no, it's really good at that. I like that kind of. What is it? Cinematography.
Sure, we'll go with that. And Natasha's new show is called How to Die Alone, and it is on Hulu. And there's one season. I don't know how many episodes there are so far, but yes, I need to watch that to support Kelly Penny. Because now you got me calling about a wrong damn name. Anywho, yes. What else are you watching? Sorry. That's what I interrupted whenever she texted me.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Tell Me Lies is great. Like, it's really good.
To my list. I think I want to watch Menendez first.
I've been watching Reasonable Doubt.
Heard that is amazing.
Yeah. So I was late on the
seasons?
and so I had to watch all of the first season, but the second season is on right now. And it's good. Like
lawyer show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Brie was telling about that too because she was like, my husband's in it, or he joined this season. Morris Chestnut. I was like, okay.
Yes, this season, because he wasn't in the first season, but it's pretty good.
Did you watch what's the Carrie Hilson? I keep calling this woman Carrie Hilson. I meant Carrie Washington. Thank you. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but she is the producer for Reasonable Doubt.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
is she? She might be. I know she was producing some stuff because it was like with the Onyx Collective, but I don't know if that's what her production company is called or not. But I did see Unprison got canceled, like it's not coming back. But then Bree was. This was when we went apartment hunting. She came with me. Shout out to you, Bree. We went and had drinks and like just chilled afterwards, and she was telling about shows, and she was saying Unprison. She was like, it's good, but it's just like she just mean, like she needs to get over it. And so, what is it about? Because for some reason, I think she just said her dad gets out of jail. But is that like the basic premise of it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like, daddy issues. But he's out of jail, and he's like a different person now, but she still has some daddy issues, and so it kind of interferes with like her relationships and then like her parenting her son and whatnot. But like it's good, but it's not like anything to write home to mom about,
Okay, I guess that's why I got canceled then, huh? Have you, because you're the only person that I know that watched Apple TV stuff, have you watched any of their new stuff?
So I watched Bad Sisters. I don't think we talked about that, but I don't think it's new. Bad Sisters is good. I liked it. It was basically five sisters, 4, 5, whatever, a handful of sisters. But one of the husbands dies, and they're like, who killed them? Because nobody liked him. And so basically that was
the sisters who killed him?
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds very Big Little Lies.
Yeah. So no,
which I heard that's supposed to come back.
Is it?
I've heard that they're working on season 3. I'm like, I would be down because both of those seasons were top tier.
Yeah.
And the memes that spawned from it, or the TikToks of that guy. Remember the guy that had his robe and his coffee and would look out the window like the white woman of it? Good show. No, that was a good show.
Yeah, no, that was really good. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I've been in actually, I don't know if you know, but I've been in the whole Tyler Perry network. Those are my comfort shows. And Zatima just came back on.
Oh, those. I forgot about
Zatima is way better.
Do you have BET Plus then?
So I got it on my Amazon Prime. But even now, because I was watching Sisters through it, and the latest season, they just made it to where it's available to buy or rent. And I'm like, nigga, I got like BET Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm not. So I'm just going to wait. But Zatima's back on. So I've been watching that. But I'm like, excuse me, might venture over to watch because like there's so many spinoffs from it.
Wait, what else?
So from Sisters, obviously Zatima. And then from Sisters, it's like, which I don't know if it's from Sisters or it's from Zatima, but both. Madam is like Fatima's cousin, who is like a madam, type of deal. So that's a spinoff show. I don't know if I'm gonna like that too much, but then there's obviously Bros, which is kind of like Sisters, but
it's I've heard of that, but never seen because you have to have BET Plus.
I think it's different people.
Yeah, I think it's just like because I feel like they came out around the same time, Bruh and Sisters. And I don't remember if Bruh was ever actually on BET. I think you had to have BET Plus for it.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I never watched it.
I remember Nanny Teej and my dad, Nanny Teej specifically, watching All the Queen's Men or something like that with Eva, and she said that was good.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's who I was referring to. That's Madam.
Oh, All the Queen's Men is a spinoff of Sisters?
I'm pretty sure because Eva is Madam. Eva Marcel. That I couldn't remember what the name was. But then there's also
I just can't tell.
I wanted to watch Ruthless, but I'm like, I know it's about to be corny, but the premise is like cult-like, and I'm like,
I saw the trailer or clips from it. But is that Tyler Perry too? Yes, it is. And I have zero faith in any of his movies. I mean, it's like what you're getting.
Exactly. That's
so if you're okay with that,
yeah.
But it's that terrible. And I don't know why Kelly Rowland somehow convinced me that her movie would be different. So I jumped back into Tyler Perry for Mea Culpa and was, I don't want to even say sadly disappointed because I wasn't disappointed. I just knew. So I can't do that. Have you watched Deliverance? I know it's not Tyler Perry, but it's damn near Tyler Perry. I've heard that's just as bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But I
Teej keeps
like
on quoting, I smell your nasty pussy. I'm like, ugh.
What's her name? Andra Day. I didn't know she was that good. She was really good at acting.
She's in another movie that she did really good in.
And she's
I think
really
it's relatively
pretty.
older now. Very, very
Mm-hmm.
pretty. And can sing a little ass off.
Yes.
Oh, what is the... She was in another movie that was serious like that too. Well, I think that wasn't serious. But she was in... Oh, shit. Am I thinking of it? Oh, she played Billie Holiday in a movie. But I thought there was another serious movie she was in. I don't know. I can't find it, but because Deliverance keeps on coming up, and I know that damn show is a serious movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, people will talk about her because I think she might have either won an Oscar or an Emmy for her Billie Holiday impression, or was nominated. And everyone was like, "Oh my god, she can really act!" Because obviously we knew her from "I'll Rise Up." That, and so now that she's acting, it's like, oh, okay. So, but I doubt I'll ever dip into the Deliverance. I doubt it. It's just not. And the crazy part is Lee Daniels stuff is usually better. Because Star.
Yeah, but Star was definitely still cheesy.
Actually, it wasn't. I thought about it. No, I don't know if I can. We were talking about Apple. Did you watch Presumed Innocent?
Yes.
Was that good? I've heard great things about that.
It was. Yeah, no. It was good. I liked it. Okay. Just short. I don't. I think it's a limited series, so I don't think there's going to be a second.
I actually like limited series.
Because you know that it
kind of puts a bow on everything, and I don't have to keep guessing, and it doesn't leave with cliffhanger endings and stuff like that, and then the potential. It's like, oh, are they going to get renewed or not? Like, speaking back to BET, did you watch Boomerang? The series? It's super old. There were 2 seasons. That was such a good show.
Yeah, it was.
And they just did away with it. Again, we had this conversation before. Black shows, they don't get anything. But that was a good show. I don't know what made me think of it.
This is completely off, but back to movies, completely different genre. I saw TikTok. Anne Hathaway made a TikTok about Princess Diaries
3. And she's returning for The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Is she?
So, I watched The Devil Wears Prada for the first time this year. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it was good. And I guess it's like one of those cult classics. I was like, okay, I've never seen it. Everyone talks about how great it is. But then I saw they were making a 2, and I was like, this would be interesting. But yeah, Princess Diaries, I remember those as kids. Those were good movies. And so I'm interested to see how because everyone loves Anne Hathaway. She was in some movie recently on Netflix where she was like dating a younger guy, maybe?
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. I never watched it.
Neither.
Anyone But You? Is that it?
Sure.
No.
That sounds
it's not it. I think I'm just...
Oh, that's the one with Sydney Sweeney. Right? The one that was in the movies.
I did see that. I saw that in the movies.
Oh, was that good?
Yeah, it was cute.
Oh, okay. No.
It was what to be expected, like, a little rom-com.
Okay, last show I'm going to talk about only because I know it's up your alley and we're in spooky season. Have you started the newest season of From? Yeah, of course. It's another show that I said I want to watch. It's on my list.
Absolutely.
That's scary, right?
Yeah. I will say this season is starting off a little, like the first episode was good, but the second episode was a little slow. Speaking of, I need to watch because I think it comes out on Fridays, and so I'm sure I'm behind an episode now. But yeah, no, From is good. It makes you think.
See, there's so many. How do you do it exactly? Because like, there's so many shows that you always watch. Like I really want to watch the morning show, but I don't know. I can't force myself to just sit and watch TV for that long.
Well, so you do understand a good bit of my job is paperwork. So I just have it on in the background.
And see, that's the thing that I don't have the ability to do. Because obviously, that's why I put on like HGTV in the background. Because I don't have to pay attention to miss something. But I'm the type of person, if I'm watching a show and then I like get distracted with something, I want to rewind. And then so I never get anywhere on shows.
So yes, that happens to me a good bit. But like with like writing my notes, like I can listen, I can see. But a lot of the times when I'm writing my notes, it's like a Zatima or Sisters or something like that nature. Now, normally I'm watching episodes like when I take my lunch break or just like at night. And so
I don't know. And then that's my thing too, is like I think that's part of the reason why I haven't been watching all that TV. I've really tried to get, because you know how my sleep habits were, to where I don't watch TV in my room anymore. Like so random aside, obviously, like I'm facing the parking lot, like right now I'm looking, so I can see stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Amazon is doing a delivery right now, and I saw them park, and he has made 3 to 4 trips in the same direction with very large boxes. I don't know if this is all going to the same house, but wow, that is a lot of shit getting delivered. And that's not Amazon, that's FedEx. Okay, but still, they're like huge boxes, and he's like has them in 2 arms, and
maybe they're gearing up already.
Maybe they're what?
Gearing up.
Maybe. And I know like next week is like those Amazon deal days, I think.
Yeah,
which is what the hell is that? Because it ain't Prime Day. So what is deal day? But then also Target, I got Target Circle Week is coming up. It's like all these things, and I'm like, why are they doing them now in October when they're going to do Black Friday again, and then they're going to have their Christmas sales, which is not even sales, which is what I've started. Trip number 4. I hope he's not going upstairs. Oh my God, he is going upstairs. That poor man having to carry all them boxes. Anywho, yes, enough on TV. I'm going to attempt to remember what I wanted to talk about with love, because I'm trying to think of where it went with the Ariana Grande thing, which is funny because even before, he looks so tired. That poor man.
Focus, TJ, focus.
I know, I'm trying. It was funny because even before your birthday, we went out, me and some of my friends, and we went back to one of our homegirls' apartment afterwards, and we were like sitting on her rooftop, which also made me fall in love with rooftops, because it was like 2:00 at night. We were able to see the stars in Houston. Like, anyway, and so we were talking about something, maybe like the planets, because this one girl, trip number 5, this one girl, she just knew so much about like the sky. She's like, you see right there, that's Mars. You can see him. And I'm like, how do you know all this? And do you know what my favorite planet is?
Jupiter.
No, close enough. Saturn. So I don't know where this stemmed from. I think it was like somewhere in like the 2nd grade. We had to do a project in Saturn. Anyway, and so I asked her, I was like, can we see Saturn? Because she said there was Mars and there was Jupiter. And I'm like, Saturn? And she was like, can be seen. And it made me think about Ariana Grande has a song on that album called Saturn Return Interlude, which is just this lady talking about Saturn returns and how it like happens every 29 years. And it's like this shift in your, I don't want to say psyche, because that sounds very philosophical, and I don't think that. But it says in the song, like there's the Saturn return is where like it hits you, and if you've been like just resting on your laurels and kind of just coasting through life, it like almost forces you to make a change. Like you get that uncomfortable, whatever a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I played it for them because they were asking about Saturn and when their Saturn return was and blah, blah, blah. And so then it made me like re-listen to that album, because it's not necessarily about anything like that, but it was about her going through her breakup or her divorce with her husband and kind of like moving on from that. And it talks about during that time is when she had her Saturn return, and she felt like that's what kind of shifted and made her not want to stay in the situation because she was comfortable and she actually wanted to. And I feel like so much of that, like we both talked about that, like obviously you wanting to move, me wanting to move, and like being uncomfortable, we're not in our Saturn return. I think that hit us both in like 2020 because we all know. But it made me, like I said, go back and listen to that album and the emotions of just going through that whole thing. And we've kind of touched on this in a previous episode. I forgot what it was called. But about like just love and like being open to love again. And I don't know why. I know why it sparked from the conversation we had at your apartment. But then I don't know why it hit me so much of how... I'm trying to figure out how to say this without saying names so that protecting the innocent and not so innocent. But of how you can be with someone for so long and can think you're completely in love and all that stuff like that. And then you break up and then you go through this mourning thing. Cool. But then you get over it. But then there's people that you meet that you don't know for as long, but you feel that same when things end. And I don't know why that's been like perplexing me for literally months, because you know who. But I don't know what determines the strength of those bonds. I don't know, I probably sound like crazy as shit. Maybe it's the sage. I don't know. Do you see what I'm attempting to get at in some weird way? You're like,
no, I think I do. It's more so of like, how can you have that same, I guess, reaction or response if, like,
yeah,
even though the situations are different and like the amount of time that you spent and the things that you went through with that person are different.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And how there's other situations where you feel that closeness as well, but then get over it so much more easily. Like what is it that determines how much you're affected by the break or the loss of another person? Even if in those moments with them you still feel as strongly as him, but then with some it's easier to let go and then some it's not. I don't know why that's really been in a little cool.
I don't know. I feel like for me it depends on like the person. So it depends on like you and your state of denial you're in. Like I feel like denial is not always as explicit as people think. Like, oh, like they're in denial, they're just not believing, you know, what's happening. It's not as explicit. It's very subtle sometimes, and I feel like that can prolong, you know, your reaction or response to certain experiences, or intensify like your reaction or your response to like certain experiences.
Number 6.
So
this was a smaller package though. Yeah, I don't know why that's literally, and this is a conversation I've actually had with my therapist too. I feel like that's been the crux for this. Oh, that's weird. I don't want to say I work on something every year because I haven't been in therapy for consistently that long enough. But I feel like that's been the reoccurring thing that I'll have conversations like everything else is fine. I'm not like sad about it or any shit like that. But I'm just like we discovered I just need to know the why of everything. And so when there's those reoccurring things or patterns or something, I'm like, why does this keep happening? And I think that's one of the things I haven't been able to wrap my mind around when, like in thinking, just like, why, how are we so differently affected by people and the lack thereof that person when in those moments when you are with them, and that could be friends wise, relationship wise, whatever, where it feels like they're at the same level when you're in it, but the way that once it's released, there's different levels of ease to letting go. And like time doesn't seem to affect that ease of letting go either. I don't know. That's been weird to me. And I guess that's probably not, it's obviously because it's not linear, but I don't know. That's been like in my mind. And for some reason that album, as I was listening to it, kept on bringing back that thought. Yeah. And I know I used Saturn Return as the reason for that. But again, if you listen to the album, you'll understand why. Because it's great emotion and it's actually a really good album just in general. And so, you should listen and see if you get that the same random thoughts that I got, even though I probably sound crazy to most people, including myself sometimes. But we're here. Yes. Do you see? Yep. Anyhow, I'm trying to think if there's anything else before. Is there anything else that you is there anything else for you? I do have one other thing, but is there anything else that has been going on in your life that you would like to discuss? Where are your existential questions? Why am I the only one with existential questions here, Natalie?
Let me tell you, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've strayed away from asking like existential questions in that regards because I still do ask them. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like for me, it's beneficial for me to put action to thought. And so I think of those things, but I don't get so focused on, like, for example, what we were just talking about. I don't get so focused on the why because I see how big of a rabbit hole it can bring you down and then you're not going anywhere. And so, but a lot of people do that. And I used to do it too. And I still do it. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like I shift my focus instead of thinking about the why, which is more like the existential aspect of it. I think about like, okay, what do I need now? What do I need to do? Like, what's in my control? Like, what do I need to do based off of what I'm feeling and all that good stuff? And so,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't have those. So, have I been thinking a lot about what's next for me? Obviously, we had that conversation last time, just with my birthday just passing and just kind of figuring out, okay, next steps, let me kind of map it out so I can be intentional about things.
There you go.
But,
Have you, remember I alluded to the question that you asked. Have you finished your list of year 31 not affirmations, resolutions?
Yeah, pretty much. I need to go back in it and kind of like specify, like make action steps from each of them. And so I've been looking on Amazon. I've been looking for something to act as a structure to it to kind of, but I don't know. I get stuck on things, and if I can't do it that way, then I'm not going to do it at all. And I'm like, I need to get out of that. But I really want like a whole wall. Like my mom did this in her office.
Now? Or
yeah, she has it in her office now, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's not as aesthetically pleasing like as I know I could do it, but she just kind of did a brain dump, which I do that on paper, but she did it on her wall, like a whole piece of butcher paper, and like different categories and action steps that she needs to do in each of them. And I'm like, that's what I want to do, but obviously I want to do it in like my way, and if I can't do it my way, then I'm not going to do it at all. And it's just like, ugh. Anywho's, so needless to say, hilarious. Yes, I've done it, but I just need to fine tune it a little bit more.
I'm reading this book called Stillness is the Key. And it's by Ryan Holiday, and I've read one of his other books, The Daily Stoic, and Cassidy's actually reading another book in his series called, oh shit, I have it, so I don't know why I'm not just going to look at it. Ego is the Enemy. She's reading that one, and that one kind of sparked me. I was like, oh, I love the other book that I read from him, which is more like I don't want to call it a devotional, but you read one a day, like for specific days. And I did like that, and I read it back when we were in the house, I think over the course of a year. And she was telling me about this book, and so it made, because I haven't been reading, and that was something that I was doing kind of consistently. And so I went and got the little trilogy pack, which it's the Ego is the Enemy, Stillness is the Key, and the Obstacle is the Way. So I started on Stillness is the Key. And one of the things that it brought back up was journaling, which is something I used to do and haven't done in years. So I've been saying that I want to get back into journaling as a way to do my brain dump kind of thing too, as well as reflections throughout the day, or reflections from the day. Because I think maybe, you know, like therapists talk about that too, like my sleep habits, like in me, like my brain went, so I'm like, I should. And so I've been saying that I'm going to start again, but then I, like you said, if I can't do it my way, I'm like, I want to have this nice notebook, and I'm like, you have a book right here, like use it. And I get so hyper fixated on like wanting to do it a certain way that if I can't do it that way, then I'm like, well, we'll just start when we can do it that way. And I'm like, sometimes you just need to fucking start. I'm like that with working out too, which is so annoying because I need to get back into that as well. And I had this whole goal of shit before I moved into the apartment. And we are a month away and haven't done anything there at all. So that is fun. And then that article that I sent you, one of the things, I don't even know the title of the article, I'll say it just in case the people actually want to, this is random.
What?
I'm going to say this off. I'll tell you afterwards. It's the art. Let me go find the article I'll send you so I can get the name for the people. It is, therapists share one tip that's changed their lives. And I get the, do you have Apple News? Do you subscribe to that with the, that on the family plan?
I don't think that I do. Actually, yes, I think things pop up. I just never utilize it.
Okay. So I've like gone through and like picked the types of stuff that I enjoy, and so I'll do stuff like on mental health, but I'll do like celebrity news, like current world events. So it'll randomly pop up articles, and I'm again trying to not be as so heavily focused into TV. So that's why I've been trying to read more and shit like that. As I say, I have all these shows I want to watch. I'll contradict. But so this article came up, and I think it was on a day when I was working from home. So I read it, and that's when I shared it with you because obviously therapy. But I think one of the biggest things, one of the main ones in that tip, in the tips that they provided, or whatever, however you want to say it, was that you're not that special. And I think that's been one of the things that, and we kind of talked about this on the last episode when I said like I kind of shifted my outlook on like the podcast and stuff like that. But that one stood out because it's been, I don't want to say recurring, but I've thought it's just like, why are you so worried about like what other people think and their perception is like you're not that special. So like to see it put that way, because granted my therapist has never told me that, because that was something that he said that he told, or she said she told her client, whatever. And I was like, okay, so my therapist has never told me that. But the reasoning behind it made sense. And so that one, I was like, okay, let's take that into consideration, because so many things like even before going to the gym, like I never wanted to go because like, oh, people are gonna.
Yeah, it's like you got to get out of the mindset of stop like personalizing everything.
So yeah, that was the thing. And so I think that's one of the. I think I'm gonna take that with me out of all of them. Do you remember any of the ones that were in there that you were like, yep, I've told this to a client? Or
the first one, well, when it came to, let me pop it up. When it came to,
I'm trying to believe you go.
Why is it so far back? Oh, okay.
Right, I was like, we be talking, huh?
Oh, well, so this is more, I like the first one because this is more so as a therapist side of it, is like, you have more time than you think to react. I feel like as a therapist, as well as like as a friend who people know me as a therapist or family or whatever, they think I just have to have the answers to everything. And like, granted, they don't outwardly say that, but I've gotten so much better at just kind of sitting with silence and just validating with the, I hear you, or like, yeah, that's tough. Like, and it's so much like less draining and exhausting because it's not on me to come up, because I think that's a huge misconception of like therapy too. Like they think that we're fixing your problems, but that's not the case. Like you're in the driver's seat of your problems. Like you know how to, you don't know, but like you are in control of that. We can bounce off ideas and I could be a sounding board, but like that's about it, because I'm a therapist, but I'm a human too, and I got my own stuff. Like it's not my responsibility to fix your stuff, but it's my role, and I love this part of it, is just to be able to support, like, hey, I can support you, but not everything has a solution, and I think that's a hard thing too.
Yeah, no, and I think that was that because that was the first one, and when I started reading, I was like, ooh, I'm in, because also in the book, stillness is the key. Yes, that was one of the things they talk about, is like get comfortable with silence, or like find silence, and because in like some of the examples they were saying was like people on planes. It's like we get on a plane and the first thing we do is what?
Put on a movie or put on a
Thank you.
show.
Thank you. It's like instead of just like dealing with, not even silence, but it's just like dealing with, like listening to what is going on around you. It's like we find ways to drown out everything that's happening by creating more noise. And so when it put that, I was like, huh. And then, like the first one saying, you have more time to react. And just being able to not feel like you have to, everything is like that. Especially in my like work, every time I get an email, I'm so like, okay, let me respond right now. And it's like, why? And I think they use another example of just like nothing. I don't know if it was Napoleon or something, because they use a lot of examples from like history about how he would tell people that he didn't want any of his mail opened for 3 weeks after receiving it or something like that. And it was like what they found was like all the things that people were saying were urgent were fixed before he ever got to open it. So it's like, is this actually important? And so I think that does help to classify, like, it's like, again, you're not that special. Like if you don't respond to this, the world is not going to end. And I think that's been, like, just reading that book, it's actually really good. And I haven't read it in a few days, but I don't know, like all of that was starting to tie into, it's funny how, I'd say manifestation and like the energy you're calling in and all that woo stuff. But it is weird how like you'll start doing something or reading something and then suddenly so many things start aligning with that. You're just like, what? Like I said, I've been reading that book for, I think since like mid-September, maybe late. I don't know what it was. But then now this article about tips and like it's literally kind of reinforcing some of the things you're in. That's so intriguing how the good old universe works and things. Weirdness. Before we get too much down a rabbit hole of all this stuff, because we are maybe past an hour, I did have a question for you, because we are starting nothing crazy, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Because we are in the process of, getting ready for season 4. We don't have a couple more episodes for this season. I want to ask you, what is something that you would like to change for next season? As we're doing our brainstorming stuff, or I'm doing the brainstorming stuff, and then I'm listening to you. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you're the boss. Actually, you always say you just show up and do what you're told. But I feel like like in it's like when you have like a senior level manager and you work on the presentation, you present, you're just like, what do you think? What do you think? And it's like, they're very Devil Wears Prada. No. But anywho, what is something that you want to change for next season? And yes, you have to have an answer. Don't say, I think everything's perfect.
But honestly, that is probably going to have to be a question that I come back to, because honestly, I don't know.
Or maybe I shouldn't say change. What is something you would like to do for next season? And have you been listening to or do you still listen to other podcasts like Kale and them?
I had stopped for a while, but I started listening to Kiki Palmer's one, and I like hers. Yeah, she's funny.
Remember when I was saying that in LA? Like the whole time? Remember I was saying that in LA for my birthday was that 30th? You don't remember that? Like people just randomly say, yeah, and I was drunk. Okay. But I've never listened to hers. But
it's good. I started listening to it because she had Serena and Cordell from Love Island on there, and then I listened to it because she had Randall from This Is Us, Sterling Brown, and his wife on there. And so, yeah, I was listening to it then, but I haven't really been listening to a lot of podcasts. But I said that's a shift that I kind of wanted to do because I was kind of tired of listening to music. And I wanted to start listening to, well, not tired, but like I wanted to listen to audibles too, like books. But yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe one thing that I would want to do for next season, I guess continue with just kind of being a bit more open. I feel like as the seasons have gone, I've gotten a little bit more and more open just because, again, not that I couldn't care less what other people have to say, but like people got their own lives going on, and just I'm doing this for fun, and I'm just doing this, for me. And so like, what's it to me to kind of, if I'm going to be on a podcast, why not just be open and vulnerable? And so I think that's kind of one thing. And we've said this like previous seasons too, but like touching on, other topics that we may think like, oh, if someone hears this, like, this might sound weird, but no, I think I'm just going to continue to be more open.
I would say you definitely went a little deeper than I thought. I didn't mean necessarily with us. I just meant stuff on the show. But I do like that because we do say that quite often. It's like, more vulnerable, more this. And then I feel like a lot of, which, again, progressively it has. I think just with us getting more comfortable, too. It's just like that we have just had more in-depth. I think that's one thing I would say. It wasn't the thing I was going to say, but I would say it's like having more in-depth conversations. Because I think a lot of times we'll like have, I don't want to say surface level, but we don't get like deeper into topics. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because we're trying to make sure this thing isn't 4 hours long, because obviously we can talk. And I think also because we're now recording these in the morning, we're not drinking during these. So things have just been a little bit different. But what were you going to say?
I guess another like tangible thing that I probably would change is I want to, instead of allowing for like the questions to come to us, I want to, when I'm developing a topic, ask people questions that come to my mind so that I can bring it to our conversation so that we can kind of continue on it too. Because granted, like, yeah, we would like to have more people on here, but like timing and schedules and all that good stuff, get in the way. But I think bringing people's questions into our topics would be cool.
Yes. And I think that's something that I've wanted for, like more feedback from listeners, because we have people listening. And so it's just like more input from them, because obviously that would tailor the show, or not even tailor the show, but it's like it makes it more personal to the listeners. Like they feel like, they're being heard and all stuff like that. So yeah, definitely more feedback that can help enhance the show, even if it isn't from like I said, listener letters or whatever like that. It's actually from just like, or these are some topics that I would like to, discuss. So I agree 1000%. And I think the one thing for me that I want to, I don't want to say it's a change, something that I want to bring back for next season. I really want to do game nights again. Those were so fun. And I've been looking at ways of how to do it like virtually, because now that we're paying for the platform, I don't want to use their name because they ain't paying us. But we have the ability to have up to 8 people on here. So we can do, like a group thing, even if we're not all together, which may be easier if you do move. But the platform is so easy and it helps with editing and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if there's a way to do it on here. It's just like the note card portion of it, how we used to do it, where we pull it. That part is what I'm trying to find, some kind of virtual program to where it's like, all right, spin the whatever, and then this is your question. But I definitely want to bring back game nights because those were fun. I think we had 3, maybe 4 of them. And it was just fun because it was real conversation with real friends. And I think those are some of our most listened to episodes too. So definitely want to.
A lot of different perspectives and whatnot. And so, it was lots of fun. Right. I would agree.
It was. And that was really how I wanted to close the show. But like I said, we're in the midst of planning season 4. So this is your time, people, to kind of get some ability to tailor the show for next season. So like Natalie said, we want more feedback from you all. So you can send it in a comment, a DM on Instagram or TikTok. You can DM on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So on TikTok or Instagram at Crazy Little Pod. Or if you would like to send in a topic or any comments, you can send it to crazylittlepod@gmail.com. But then if you do have a question that you would like to ask us, as always, you can send it to askcrazylittlepod@gmail.com. See how easy we made that for y'all? But again, comments on stuff work too. We're on SoundCloud as well. That has the functionality to leave comments. Even on Spotify, there's a poll feature, which I don't ever really play around with. And I don't know if you can leave a comment on Spotify because that's the one music service that I've never really got involved with. But I'll start putting polls in the episode of just like, how would you rate the show? Do you agree with our takes? That way people can kind of do that. That way it's easier. We used to have that. And I don't even know what I don't want to say it's an Instagram add-on thing, but where people could send anonymous. Remember that when we would do that and we would get the random stuff?
A filter.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I don't know. I stopped doing it because I felt like some of them were fake, like generated by the thing. And I was like, this is weird. But maybe bringing something back like that to where it's like you don't have to have your name associated with it. Because I was thinking about that too with like questions, which I don't remember if in the link tree they have to put their email address to send us a question. I don't think so, because that one question that we did get this season, I don't recall it having an email address associated with it. Because I was like, maybe people don't want to put their email address because then that can link to who they are. But I don't think on the link tree it gives, and you put whatever name you want and it doesn't require an email address. So that's kind of anonymous. So you can also use that if you would like to anonymously send a topic or something like that. But we definitely want more feedback from the people that listen to the show, because it'll just allow us to continue to grow as a podcast. And it's crazy that we've been doing this for, when did we, 2021, so it's about to be 3 years? Oh, it'll be 4 years for season 4, because you only do this once a year, so that makes sense. Which is insane. I need to count how many episodes. I wonder if we've had our 100th episode already. Because I think we do like 25-ish a season. Maybe season 4 will hit the 100.
4, yeah.
Yeah. But that is all I have. Do you have anything you would like to say before we close out of this lovely episode of shit talking? And I guess it was a lot of TV too.
No, I think we covered everything. I'm hungry now, so I'm probably gonna get something to eat.
I am starving as well. I was starving before this, and then when you were like, I'm gonna be a little late, I was like, I should have ran it back a lot too. Because I'll have a cereal, and as much as I want to eat cereal, I think I need some. Because I don't think I'm going to eat until after this go karting thing, because I think I'm going to eat afterwards. So I'm going to get something heavy for lunch and then deal with the rest of that later. But on that note, everyone listening, thank you if you've made it this far. And we will see y'all in 2 weeks for a Teej episode, which is always a fun time. So bye, y'all.
Bye.